Well, hello everybody, I'm Dakian, welcoming you to this miniatures ramble for Monday, 13th of November, 2017. And in the completed pile, there's only these 6 guys this week. What are these? Well, as you can probably see, they're Imperial Fist Space Marines. They're my experiment in a variety of ways. First off, it's an experiment in putting together models out of bits. Now, a lot of these bits, the arms, weapons, shoulder pads, and backpacks are GW bits. However, the torsos and legs are from Spellcrow. And I think that part of it worked out very well. I mean, most people probably won't even think twice about it. The other thing I've been doing is testing a new, trying to find a faster technique for painting minis like this with the airbrush, which is that I've undercoated it with a primer layer, which is pre-shaded, and then simply glazed the color on top of that. And the experience I can draw is for bright and light colors like this yellow. It worked kind of so-so. There's many places where it looks kind of dirty, and because there's a layer of dark gray under the yellow, that makes the yellow simply look messy. So one possible conclusion to draw is to not use this technique with colors like yellow. I could have done the pre-shading with different primer colors. I didn't have to go from the black gray up to light gray to white. I could have gone from like a light brown to a tan to white, and that might have blended better with the yellow. Yeah, that might have been a better way to go. But anyway, they're good enough for tabletop use, and they were an interesting learning experience. I learned some things, some methods I should not repeat, and that's always good. Moving on to works in progress.
Taking a look at what's cooking on the work desk, we have Cthulhu, of course, still in progress. More in progress. You can see more shades of color on his tentacles and on the spines, claws, and maybe on the base as well. He's well on the way. I think I'm going to... The schedule I thought I would keep, namely finishing him by next Monday, I think is still doable, still realistic. Started working some more on these 2 Infernals from Mantic, and the final 3 Infernals are over here. They've simply been base coated, not much else. You see, it's all red. You can tell that it's been applied by airbrush. This guy is maybe leaning a bit too much back on his base, but oh well. We can say that he's drunk or something. And finally in progress we have these Rainbow Warriors. It's a bunch of Chaos Space Marines, each painted a different color, because I decided, why the heck not? Let's go crazy and do something really different and try every color in the spectrum. And they've been done with the same fast and loose technique as those Imperial Fists with the pre-shading. However, the sloppiness, I think, doesn't matter so much for these because, well, number one, the slightly dirty effect doesn't matter so much because they're chaos and chaos is dirty. Number two, most of these colors are much darker. We do have the lemon yellow here and the orange, which are kind of bright, but the others are fairly dark in comparison. to those Space Marines. And number 3, because they are Chaos Space Marine kits, there's a ton of trim on them, which is going to get painted different colors, mainly contrasting colors. So a lot of the color you see on them now is going to get covered up, and that will help hide any imperfections. So, not sure how much I'll get done by next week. It's Cthulhu, certainly. Maybe some of the Infernals and some of the Marines. Maybe certainly not all of them. I don't think I'll have time for, but a few. We'll see. Let's take a look at other projects that I've started.
And these guys are now assembled. This one wasn't very difficult. It's just the right arm. I'm not sure why he's holding it at such a weird angle, but that was the only way it fit in. I think he's supposed to stand on this base where there's a skeleton rising up from the ground. Maybe he's holding the hand like a gesture, like "rise from your grave," you know. This resin, as I mentioned, was slightly better than those on the Infernals. It was still a bit fragile in places. This guy, like making skeletons or liches like this in hard resin, is perhaps not the best thing, because like this arm, it snapped off here at the elbow just when I was cleaning it. I was just lightly using a toothbrush to clean it off, and it snapped off. This foot snapped off when I was taking it off the sprue, and it's glued on. He's not standing at the proper angle. But anyway, so what I've decided to do with all of these was to pin them not through the feet, because the feet are so dainty and fragile. I've pinned them all through the ass instead. So, but these pins are going to are like under their cloaks. I'm just going to paint it a dark color. It's close to the base, and nobody's ever going to see it. It's a little different for the Banshee because she doesn't have feet at all. She has to be floating in the air. So in this case, the pin is kind of going to be a flying stand of sorts. I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to paint that dark as well to disguise it. And I'm painting these 3 guys off their bases, and I'm painting these bases separately. The big guy here I did attach to his base. He only came in 2 pieces. The head was separate for some reason, and was glued on. And he's an interesting figure. Well, I'll get cracking on priming these, and we'll see what happens. Here we have the big demon in pieces. It's been cleaned up. There was a lot of this was resin. It was on sprues. There were a lot of connection points, a lot of stuff that needed to be scraped off and cleaned, and it still needs to be assembled. And there's going to be a lot of pinning and gap filling required for things like the legs here, where they touch the body. Because there's still some water here from cleaning it off. But the gaps are mostly in pieces like the back piece here that fits onto the body. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good fit, but you know there are gaps that are going to need to be filled. Though I'm not sure I'm going to use this back piece. It actually comes with 2 optional. These are the options. I mean the previous Matic kits, the metal ones, demons, they had alternate heads and arms. This one has 2 alternate backs, one without wings and one with these huge wings. And of course I'm going to go with the wings. So does that fit better? A little bit. But there's still a crack. It still needs to be filled. But I'll take care of that. And I'm not sure what these holes are for. There's nothing on the feet that would fit there. Well, maybe there was and I cut it off because I thought it was just resin scraps, but well, oh well, I'll pin the feet as well into the base. Maybe I'll build up the base first, or I'll have to think about that. We'll see what I do. Anyway, this is what I'm working on until next week. And this week we have a Kickstarter. We have the latest from Midland Miniatures, which is the Winter Adventures. And well, this is a bunch of adventures in winter clothing. Not much to say about that. And there was a bonus pack of adventures. I'm not sure. There's some sort of stretch goal. Let's have a look at a few. Here's a wizard with some sort of staff. Not all that wintry, but he's fully dressed. And what do we have here? A dwarf or a halfling? Not sure. With a fur hat. That's very wintry. And so forth and so on. We can take a closer look at them when I decide to paint them. But for now, that's this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Click like, whether you liked it or not. Subscribe, comment, and I will see you next week. I'm Dakian, and I'm signing off.